Hello, welcome back to Trey's Tabletop Crossrip. I'm Trey, screen name Ghostbuster LMLII. Welcome to what will be a two-part episode because it would be way too long to do it all in a single video. So welcome to part one. This is all about Certifiable Studios' House of Rath campaign. That is a sequel to their Endangered Orphans of Condyle Cove game. We've got a whole bunch of pieces out just for display now. My goal for the videos, just to give you a heads up, is I'll talk about the things that came in their big pledge level, and then we're gonna open and we will unbox just kind of the core House of Rath game in this first video, and then in the second video we will unbox the collector's set that contains both the first game, the expansions of the first game, and then the new House of Rath game, as well as that being the special Kickstarter only cultist edition of House of Rath. So if that's specifically what you're looking for, you can jump to the next video once I get it uploaded. If not, you want to see about the rest of the stuff, stay here and stay with me and we'll go through that. So Certifiable Studios, I will make no bones about it, they are my favorite game company out there. I've actually been able to visit the studio several times, and those guys are always very, very super generous. Jesse and Anthony and Rick are most gracious when we come to visit, and it's just always a joy to go out there and meet those guys and get to play the games with the creators. It's so fun. So this is something that I pledged for. I was one of the first backers. I couldn't wait. My group and I love the original Endangered Orphans game. If it's not something you've checked out, I highly recommend it. It is a quick, short little take that game. My game group typically uses it as a night ender after we played something bigger, longer, crunchier, or whatever, and we just kind of need something that we can hammer each other before we call it a night. We really enjoy it. But this was their follow-up to that, House of Wrath. They started the campaign back in 2020. COVID had its own distractions and everything else. So original ETA was last year. There were many things that unfortunately just kind of they had no control over. So the ETA got pushed. It's being delivered in most places. I think part of Europe is still yet to go. But those of you in Europe, hopefully you'll get yours soon, because this game's a lot of fun. I was lucky enough to get to play their prototype copy when I went to visit, and this game's a lot of fun. I cannot wait to bring it to the table with my game group now that I've got it in hand. So I obviously needed their greedy backer tier. That is what they call their most all-in level is the greedy bastards. And so that's what I did. So what you have here is what came in that plus the little extra that I ordered. So what came in that tier was the full box set that contains the first game, Endangered Orphans of Condyle Cove, the expansions to that, and then the House of Wrath sequel game in the slipcase. You got the book Cat on a Lamp Cursory Rhymes from Condyle Cove, which is a book of poems and other type of poetry, all in the kind of Endangered Orphans universe. So it's dark humor, but enjoyable. You had the House of Wrath puzzle, and then you had the House of Wrath coin. Certifiable Studios always does a coin for their games. And so that's here. So we'll go ahead and open that now while we're talking about it. So this is the coin for House of Wrath. On the front, you've got the orphans looking over the gate, which is the same as the core box art. And then on the back, you have the cultist skull, which we'll see later, and the kind of the gears behind the skull of the moving house. So there's that. And then I went ahead, what you could add to the pledge was this was a Holidays special playmat for the first game that had not been previously offered. It was offered for the first time in this campaign. And then I got an extra coin for the first Endangered Orphans game. I had one already, but Anthony, who designs the inserts for Certifiable Studios, and you'll see later, he puts a spot for the coin to rest in the insert. And so it would just bug me if I didn't have a coin to go in this insert as well. So there's the coin for that. You've got the boogeyman holding the orphan's hand on one side, and then the encouragement shirt art on the other, from the No Friend of Mine card from that game, which I don't know if it shows up on the video, but that's the shirt I'm wearing with that art and the demotivational poster. But so that's what came in that pledge. I was excited to have that. I will show you. Come on around. I will brag on myself just a bit. Those of the studios did most of the, obviously it's their art, but their poems. In the back of the book, though, they took submissions from different fans and different backers. So you've got several from Stephen Green, you've got Mark Allen Reynolds, who still does poetry in the comment section. He does fantastic work. I love reading his stuff. You got Patrick Carnes, C.D. Marine, and then there I am. I have my own published in the book, and I'm happy about that. I was glad to be chosen by him. And then back here at the tail end of the book, you've got blank spaces. So if you wanted to add your own, or if there were some that were done in the comment section was littered with poetry from all the backers submitting stuff that may or may not have been chosen. But if you had several favorites of those, you could print them out and put them in here. So that's the Cat on a Lamp book. Here's a close-up of the House of Rath puzzle. So you've got Rath there with his candle and the gears of the shifting rooms behind him. And then, so like I said, we will get to the full thing in another video because I think that's going to take a while. So for this video, we will unbox. This is the core box for the House of Rath, the sequel game. So if you had ordered Endangered Orphans the first time around and you didn't want to get it again, you could get just this box. So this is the core box that they put out, and we will, oh, sorry, yep, here's the back. So you have 3 orphans. Just overview of the game is now you have Count Rath instead of the boogeyman chasing the orphans. You have 3 orphans that you're trying to keep alive while he handles the others first. Much like in the first game, you're trying to outlast the other players. In this one, there are room tiles, and we'll get to those. And you move the orphans and you move Rath and try to keep yours alive. So again, it's a quicker game than some, fun, easy to set up, quick to play, quick to tear down. So let's get into it. So again, sheen on the art on the box is great. The colors, just the overall atmosphere. You see, I mean, just every side looks great. You've got the gravestone on this side. So ages 14 plus, 2 to 6 players, and then 25 to 40 minutes to play. I think I made a comment when I did their Who Goes There video, unboxing video, that we have never played it as fast as they said you could. This one you can. This one really is. So you've got your instruction booklet on top, everything that it comes with, and how to play. And they've got variants. Okay, that is art that we will see on the cultist version. That's the cover for the cultist box with his cultist mask. So let's see, in here's the box. Okay, so here is the coin slot that I mentioned. So the coin goes right in there. So you didn't have to have the coin, but it was a neat addition. It's got a little razor so you can pull the coin out. Having played this game several times on a prototype version, the way gameplay happens, this will be handy to have as a turn marker. There were times where you do a movement and then Rath gets moved and then he possibly goes after an orphan, and then the player who has that orphan has to roll to try to have that orphan survive. Sometimes it was, wait a minute, hang on, whose turn was that? It wasn't you because you rolled for your orphan. It wasn't actually your turn to move Rath. So we're going to use this as a turn marker, and so I'm happy to have it, and it's nice to have a spot in the box for it. So then here is the Rath Mini. Again, Anthony's sculpting work is second to none. All the detail. It's got a good weight to it too. So that's Rath. So here's your fate board. When your orphan is spotted, you can attempt to run away, and you roll a d6. If you roll a 1 through a 4, you do not make it. If you roll a 5 or 6, you do get away. So that's how that. You've got a little poem on the back. So keep going. Here is the Top Hat Adoption Service. This is just a folder for your extra orphan cards, the ones that are not being used. So that way, it's kind of a wait, you don't know which ones are not being used, because the way it's typically played, players will take several orphans, but then you get 4 cards at the beginning, then you choose 1 to discard, so you only have 3. So the discards can go into this little folder so nobody can see them during the game, and it can be a guessing game as to who has who. So here are the orphan cards. These are tarot sized for those of you who like to sleeve your cards. These are tarot sized. As you can imagine, it's got typical certifiable humor on some of these, on all of these actually, and plenty of end stories that they're happy to share when you get to talk to them. Bronson, you can see he's got a broken arm. It talks about it. Bronson is one of the minis that you will find in the first game, and in the first game he's there with his glasses and his broken arm as well. So you even got little Anthony. And then the cats. They always have the cats make an appearance, and it's always fun. I know my kids love seeing the cats. So that's the front of the cards, the back of the cards. Talk about this orphan being your responsibility. Let's see, keep going. So then this deck of cards are gonna be the runaway cards. So these are cards that will get shuffled, and not all of them will get used. You will only use cards enough for how many players are playing, and then you get to draw one of these cards when you lose your first orphan. So all the cards give you an option for an action that you can take between your phase and Rath's movement, or you can turn in the card for like a reroll on the runaway die. So that's how those work. So you've got the art on the back, and then each of these, and then all of these are different. So that's those. So keep going. So you've got a finger hole here so you can actually get down in there. These are the room tiles. They were upgraded to wood in the campaign. That was one of the stretch goals. So you see here, you've got 2 of each color room, and then 1 of the center tile. So on the front is what the room looks like, and then on the back is more dark poetry, and each of these are then specific to the room that it is talking about. So just real quick, I'll show you how the board gets set up. You take the matching colors and you put them on opposite sides from one another, so that when an orphan is revealed, if they run away and they succeed, they roll a 5 or a 6, they can jump from that room to the room with the same color. It's called using a secret passage, and only an orphan who has been revealed can use a secret passage. So while we're here, I'll go ahead and, so Rath starts out in the middle, and then here are the orphan tiles, and these were also upgraded in the campaign from cardboard to wood. So got a good feel to them, good weight. So you see on one side, it's got a picture of the orphan. So each of them are specific to one of the cards to match. And then on the other side, you flip them over, that side when they're showing, and then this side is if they are hiding in the room. And each one of these has a different saying about why they're not to be found at this moment. And they're all different. And so these are placed around the board. Now, my bias here is, as you can guess from my screen name, my most appreciated one is Tanya, because Tanya's catchphrase is, "There is no Tanya, only Zool," and I appreciate the Ghostbusters reference there. So then you start with 3 orphans in each room. I didn't take them all out, but you can kind of get the idea. So that's your starting look at the game. Like I said, I didn't get them all out, so here is your options die, and so they each do something different. The gear would allow you to move 1 room twice or 2 rooms once. So what they do is they would rotate. So like this one could go here, and you could stop there, you could go 1 more, or you could go that one to here, and then take this guy and move him to there. And so that's how the rooms shift in the theme of the gears around the house. So the house shifts and it directs on which way Rath may go. So that's the gears. The feet allows you to move an orphan. Any of them. It doesn't have to be yours. The eye lets you either hide or reveal an orphan. A key would allow you to place a lock, and I guess I'll show those in a minute. Place or remove a lock. And then finally, the question mark is like a wild. You get to decide what you're going to do. And then here is the runaway D6. They upgraded during the campaign to actually give it kind of instead of pips, it's numbers in the font of the Endangered Orphans. So give it a nice creepy look. So then I think finally are the wood tokens for the locks. And so again, these were upgraded. They're not cardboard, they're wood. And so those are lock tokens, so you can use those if you roll a lock to place down. And when you do that, unless he has no other options, Rath cannot go through there, and those rooms cannot be moved now. So if somebody else were to roll a gear, they could move that one, they could move that one, but they could not move those two. So that's how those work. So let's see, we'll just take this out. And so yeah, you've got space in there. And in true certifiable fashion, I don't know if it'll show up, but you've got more commentary and just color, game thematic color on the inside of the box. And I mean, it's this kind of attention to detail that I really appreciate from these guys. Is that, so it's on all sides. I won't take the time to read them all out, but you see that. And then even on the outside of the bottom box, you've got more poetry on each of the sides, and they're all different. And are they all different? Yep, they're all different. So, and then that's the back. So that is my unboxing of the core House of Rath box and kind of the overview of the pledge level. Next I'll be filming an unboxing of the big box set for all 3 games, and hope you enjoyed. If you got any questions, feel free to drop a comment below and I'll get to those as I can. And I appreciate you watching. And again, thanks to Certifiable. I know that it has not been quite the road they wanted on this one, but they overcame a lot of hurdles, and to have this in hand and to see kind of where it started with their prototype pieces and using what they had to what I now have in my hand is impressive. So congrats guys, and look forward to what you're doing next.